My name is Wayne and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be putting the Hotchkis front sway bar on my 1970 Cuda. Now if you saw the end of my last video, you know that these sway bars came just in time, which was only a couple of days ago. So these were on back order for a while, and Hotchkis told me that it was no surprise. So it took a little while to get them, but they're here and just in time. And they also sent me a couple shirts. I'm rocking the purple one today, being it's Easter weekend, feeling festive. So here they are, both front and rear. And today we're going to focus on the front sway bar for the car. We have a lot of work to do today, so let's get busy. Let's cut open the box and see what these look like. And I'm excited. The car has never had any sway bars at all, so it's gonna be nice to get all the Hotchkis parts on. Finally get some sway bars on this car. This thing just handles terrible right now. So I'm looking forward to a huge improvement. It's gonna make a world of difference. Let's get this out of the way. All right. As with all the Hotchkis components, everything's packaged really well. You don't have to worry about any damage. Everything's been great. Lots of foam. Things are individually wrapped as well. So here's the rear sway bar, I do believe. All right, looks good. Here is the front. That thing is huge. Wow. Man. Alright. Wow, that is one huge bar. Holy smokes. Big package of hardware and mounts and brackets. So now with all the Hotchkis components, all the instructions are online. So that's good. You can reference them real easy on your computer, pull them up on your phone, and then review them. And so today we're going to focus on the front sway bar. And I was looking at the instructions, and it mentioned that if you have a skid plate on your K-frame, which I do, that you have to cut the welds on the front of the skid plate and bend the skid plate down a little bit, I guess, and re-bend it so you have more clearance for this much larger diameter bar. So I'm going to try it without bending it. I'm sure it won't work, but I'm just curious to see what it looks like while it's going through that little tunnel, if you will, between the K-frame and the skid plate of the car. Okay, so this is what we got cooking here. K-frame and a skid plate. I mean, just by looking at it, man, I would think there's enough clearance to get that bar through there. I mean, or at least that it would fit once it is in. Maybe the issue is just trying to slide it in. I don't know. So we're gonna put the camera down and see if I can snake it through there. But the instructions show cutting these welds, or making a cut and then re-welding it and basically putting a little bend roughly in here to give more room for a larger diameter sway bar. So I guess I want to see how if it'll even get in there without cutting it, and we'll go from there. All right, well, I tried it a few times both ways, facing front, back, and just would not clear. So I'm just going to follow the instructions and cut this I think the factory weld out. Come there with a cutoff wheel, cut that weld out, clean it all up, and then re-weld it in the exact same spot. Kind of hate to do it, but not a big deal, I guess. So yeah, all right, let's fire it up. Alright, so I was able to grind back this weld real carefully and trying not to get into the K-frame or the skid plate, and got in there with a screwdriver, my big screwdriver, and just got to pop that glorious sound. And you know, I just finished cutting this one back, the weld, and I'm gonna see if we can pop this one and yeah, get that sound on video. It sounds so great. See if we can't capture that glorious sound of success. Oh, balls, not even close. A little more cutting over here. Oh, there we go. Sweet. All right. So now, before I do any more, or go on to move on to putting the sway bar in, I'm actually going to finish and prep this all up for welding. I'm going to clean up these edges, and while I'm down here, dirty, nasty, and we're going to get that knocked out. Alright, just got done prepping the metal. I think it looks awfully good. So that little stripping pad wasn't cutting it. I had a couple 40 grit discs that went in there and made better work of grinding that weld down and just make it a smooth edge. And then you just saw me go in there with a file to make sure I didn't have any burrs on the underside of the skid plate. So it's going to sit nice and flush up against the K-frame when we go back to weld it. So that's going to look good. I'll have to, you know, mask off this area and do a little touch-up paint. But that's alright. So, not a big deal. That looks good. So I had every good intention today, Monday, April 18th, right after day after Easter, come out in the garage, get some good work done. But would you look at that? Look at that. This is ridiculous. Yeah, that's right. That is snow. It's like 33 degrees here in Michigan. April 18th, 33 degrees and snowing. And it's just not little fluffy stuff, man. It is actually snowing and accumulating. This is ridiculous. I'm protesting today. I'm gonna go back inside and take care of some things indoors. And yeah, and sheer principle alone, that's it. Tomorrow's gonna be much warmer, and the rest of the week is gonna get a lot warmer. So, not doing this today. I already took the heater downstairs. Crazy, Michigan. So we just slid the front sway bar in place, and now I'm looking at all the hardware that came with the bars. The bars came together in the same box, so a lot of the hardware is all mixed in, but just sorting out what we need right now for the front bar. And the first thing the instructions say, which are all, again, they're all online, so I just had them uploaded to my phone. And the next thing we need to do is the subframe bushing mount, which are these guys, and I just double checked. They do line up with the factory holes in the K-frame, and they say to use the fine thread bolt with 2 washers on each side, and we're gonna get those bolted in. All right, so this is where the mount goes, and the 2 factory holes in the K-frame. So I'll put the camera down and run these up, get them snugged up. Okay, so the instructions show the bolt going into the bottom, the nut on the top side, probably just for extra clearance. And again, these are lock nuts, so we won't be able to run them all the way down right now. But again, make sure you use a washer. And again, these are the fine threads. The kit comes with the coarse thread bolts too, which we'll see where those go later. Probably for either the bushing or maybe there's also spacers in case you need them to space up the bushing away from the K-frame. So we'll see. Next, the instructions say to put the bushing on the bar with the supplied grease. So we're going to lube up both of these bushings and put them on. And it says to use, obviously, the coarse thread screws to hold these brackets on. And it mentions, due to tolerances and differences in K-frames and whatnot, we might need 1 or 2 spacers to space the bar away from the rest of the components. I assume the K-frame. So we'll see how it looks, but first we're going to lube these up and put those on. All right, this stuff is so sticky, and you get it on your hands, it'll stay there for hours. It's really hard to get off, so trying to be careful. Probably should be wearing gloves, but nice things too about these bushings is they have fittings, so we can grease those too as well down the road. So I'm gonna call that one good. Now we'll do both while we're here, I guess. And the bushing is just cut on one side, so you can open it up and slide it over the bar. Pretty standard. A lot nicer today than it was 2 days ago when we had a bloody snowstorm. Holy smokes. That was crazy. Alright, and we're ready for some nice weather. Alright, let's go get these out. Open these things up. Try to get them close so we don't gotta spill that grease all around. Okay. Bracket and see if we're going to need any spacers or not. Oh, damn. I put the brackets on backwards. I had no idea there was a front and back. Ah, damn it. I did not see that. I can see the bolt holes are shifted to one side of these brackets, and I was trying to line up the bar, and that was not going to happen. So now I got to take those brackets off. Alright, so I just got the bolts in, and I'm using 2 of the washers because there's not a lot of room in there, man. Holy smokes, it seems to be hitting everything. But I'm starting out with both of these washers because I don't have a lot of movement with this bar at all. And I think I'm going to need them. And I'm going to try to snug these up on both sides and see what kind of clearance I have. I'm hoping it kind of draws it up evenly, if you will, and we'll see. I'll go from there. Alright, this came out pretty good. I was a little nervous for nothing, I guess. I just was having a hard time, in theory, holding the bar in position and with space, but now you can't really see in there, but I do have space. I can turn the bar. It's not hitting anything. I ended up using both of the spacers. But yeah, so cool. Now we're gonna do the end links, and then we'll have to weld this thing back together. All right, now it's time for the end links. There's not a whole lot of directions you need for these. They just show you the orientation, which pretty self-explanatory. The head of the bolt is the bottom. Again, nuts on top, and we'll just bolt it together. All right, so slide this stuff through. Sleeve, and then we have our bushing assembly. And now we can slide it up basically into place. Put our bushing, big cup washer, and then a nut. Compression that you can get this thing started. All right. Okay, cool. And now it's time for some welding. Yeah, this is where it's not going to be any type of how-to, that's for sure. If you saw any of my, if you saw the video where I was putting the seat belts in the car, I'm just not proficient at welding at all, but we're going to give it our best. We're going to do it all here ourselves. So I cleaned up the skid plate and the K-frame with a wire wheel the best I could, and I got some spare pieces of metal. So I scrounged up some spare metal that I cleaned up a little bit. We're going to try to hit some practice welds and get a couple practice beads going. Just see if we can kind of tune it in. We are going to do some practice beads before we hit the real deal and see if we can get it decent. There, I don't know. We'll see. Actually had a decent bead there for a minute going. I think we're going to give this a try. Yeah, put the best I'm going to be able to do. And roll with it. I can always grind it off and touch it up if I need to. We gotta go. Alright, so I just have this in place, using my vice grips there to hold it up. And I'm going to try to cross my fingers, hope we're close, and try to get a bead going through here. Not pretty close. Damn it. I don't know, too much work. It's pissing me off. Well, that was a little frustrating. You know, I had my hopes up a little bit when I was doing my practice welds, but I don't know. I don't know if maybe the K-frame is just too thick for that MIG welder, but man, it was not pretty. Kind of made me sick. Yeah, I don't like bad work. But if, you know, it's all I can do. So I went in there with a grinder and cleaned up the welds. So it's fine. So right after my welding disappointment, I had a bird fly into the garage, land on the car, I scared it away, and what does it do? It pooped on my windshield. Can you believe it? Alright, so I just did a coat of the DTM primer, and now I'm going to do the Eastwood chassis black. A couple coats on there, and we'll be done. Alrighty. First coat's real light, we'll come back in the second coat a little bit heavier. Alright, a couple coats of paint and primer. Looks better. Still not loving those welds, that's for sure. But yeah. But the sway bar is all in, man. Real happy with it. Went in great. No major issues at all. This is going to be a huge improvement. Help keep it all flat in the corners. Man, get rid of that body roll, especially since we never even had one before. Oh yeah. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, hit the like button. And if you haven't subscribed, you know the deal. Subscribe to the channel. I really appreciate it. It means a lot. And if you turn on the bell notification, you'll be notified each and every time I upload a new video, which right now is every Saturday. So thanks a lot. I'll see you guys next time.